Hi everybody, happy Thursday. I thought I would jump on live because we just finished up our Epic Auditioning seminar with the senior class here at Baldwin, Wallace, Conservatory of Music. And we just spent the last half hour practicing a part of my Epic Auditioning strategy that I think is the most important and also the most challenging part of any audition, and that's your intro. So we're going to talk about the part of Epic Auditioning, and if you're wondering what I'm talking about as far as this Epic Auditioning strategy, check out my reel from 2 days ago. The cover page says, "What is Epic Auditioning?" It talks about my two-part strategy, prep and integrate. So we were focusing on, for the last half hour or so, the integrate part of that two-part strategy. And that integrate part really is during your audition and all of the parts of that audition. So I wanted to talk to you about the intro part of your audition. The introduction to your audition, how you enter the room, is exceptionally important. It shows us your personality. It shows us who you are as a human being. It makes us engage with you. So don't be afraid to be yourself during that introduction. So integrate basically is a mnemonic device that you can use to help keep yourself organized during your audition. Okay, so the first part of integrate is your introduction. Okay, when you walk into the room, look into the room at the panel and say, "Hello, how are you doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening," something as you walk into the room. Don't just walk into the room. Walk in and say something like a normal human being, okay? Then you make your walk to the pianist. I highly recommend that you walk, if possible, and if there is space, behind the back shoulder of the pianist, wherever the piano is placed in the room. Because if you walk to the front shoulder and you lean over to talk to the pianist about your tempi, your booty is going into the room. And so the first impression we get of you is your booty. We don't want to see that. Walk around to the back shoulder of the pianist, lean over, and show your pianist their map. So that's the end part of integrate, navigation, okay? So you're gonna navigate your map for the pianist. That map needs to be in your music. So we need to see red squigglies for ritardandi. We need to see your cadenzas written in. We need to highlight key changes. We need to make that map really, really clear for your pianist. Then you need to gently sing, lightly sing the first line or so that you can give the pianist some tempi. Don't snap at your pianist. Don't clap at your pianist, and don't conduct your pianist, yeah? Be a human and sing a line for them. If your piece has two parts, one part is legato, one part is coloratura, you need to make sure that you give the tempo for coloratura too. Okay, so when you're giving your tempo to your pianist, when you're creating your map, give the tempo for the legato section or the first section, and then flip to the second section or the third section or whatever the case may be, and give your tempo for the coloratura section as well. So not just one tempo, make sure you give them the full map, okay? Then walk back around from the back corner of your pianist to stand in the crook of the piano. And with confidence, exude confidence. Give your name, gratitude statement, thank you for having me today, and your title, very slowly and clearly, composer and opera. So my introduction would look like this. Hello, thank you so much for having me today. My name is Jennifer Rowley, and I would like to start with Visidarte from Puccini's Tosca. All correctly pronounced and enunciated, slow, clear, and really, really grateful to be there today. I always recommend a gratitude statement in your introduction, even before you give your name. Hello, thank you so much for having me today. thank you for hearing me today. Anything that gives gratitude for the panel hearing you. Because believe me, there were a lot of people that applied for those auditions, and you are one of the few that actually got in the room. So be grateful for that opportunity. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is, and I would like to start with title of aria, composer, opera, or opera composer. I don't care which order you put them in, but we need both, not just Visidarte from Tosca. We need to hear Visidarte from Puccini's Tosca. It's just more professional, okay? So then you sing your first piece, everything great, it goes wonderfully, the B flat's amazing, and the panel says, thank you so much. What else did you bring with you today? Ah! This is where the brain fart always happens. Everyone gets nervous, and the very first thing that goes is our memory, and more than likely the memory of what repertoire that you actually prepared for that day. I remember when I was younger and I was auditioning, I would literally verbally vomit titles of pieces that I had totally not prepared that day and hadn't sung for a year. Just because when I got nervous, blah, 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 I would just say whatever. So I came up with this strategy. If you are someone who, like me, gets nervous and your brain goes to complete mush, make yourself a small index card, not the huge one, the little one. Write your repertoire on that index card and put it in your pocket. If you don't have a pocket, put it in your folder or carry it in and set it on the side of the piano by the pianist, by the music stand. That way, it's there if your brain does go to complete mush and you forget what you brought with you today, okay? So you would start with, I have brought with me today, or I have prepared, or I have for you, and then put your hand in your pocket, bring it back out, and read your list. Down, say your title, check it, say your title, check it, say your title, and then stick that index card back in your pocket. Or if it's on the piano, just grab it from the side of the piano, read, and put it back down. If you remember your pieces, you don't need it, great. Then it's there for you as an emergency in case your brain does go to mush. But if you remember and you don't use it, great, fantastic. No one is gonna fault you for being nervous. I promise you. No one is gonna fault you for being nervous. They will fault you if you go, what did I bring with me today? And you take up a lot of time trying to remember what pieces you actually have with you. That's more detrimental than just pulling out a little index card and reading your pieces. I promise you it works every time. It helps so much. Okay, so you've given them your repertoire list and they say, we'd like to hear the Mozart, please. Great. Re-navigate. So you must go back around to the back corner of the pianist, again, so we don't stick our booties out to the panel, around the back corner, give your new tempo and help your pianist find your piece. If it's in an iPad, if it's in a binder, whatever, you need to make sure you find it for them. Give them the new tempo for the new piece. Lightly sing the first line. And again, if there's two sections, make sure you give the tempi for both sections. Then you can come back around, come back to the center of the crook and sing your second piece. Then the panel will say, thank you very much. And again, you say, thank you so much for having me today. And then you exit the room. So another gratitude statement prior to exiting, okay? Some other things that are important. When they ask for that second piece, the A part of integrate is to accept that positively. I can't tell you how many times I've seen at a competition or an audition, I say, we'd like to hear the Mozart, and somebody's face goes, okay. And then they go, and you're like, oh God, what are we in for today? Okay, so make sure when they say, we'd like to hear the Mozart, great, thank you. And then go and give your tempo, okay? The final part of integrate is how you exit the room. And exiting the room, you will be so amazed, is so important. we can get cues on what you thought about your audition on how you exit the room. If you think it was a terrible audition, it doesn't start in the room. Don't start judging yourself in the room. Please don't judge until you get outside. If that's the kind of singer that you are, that you think back and, try to reevaluate how the audition went. Don't do it until you get outside of the door, okay? Because I can't tell you how many times I see people, thank you, and then they leave looking like completely defeated. No. Thank you so much for having me today. Exit, smile, leave. Don't forget your audition binder or your iPad, and then exit the room, okay? So integrate really is the strategy that you need to practice in order to help your audition be as easy, routine as possible. Because we do get nervous. We all get nervous, of course, especially when we're auditioning, and our brains go. So if you have a routine, if you have a strategy, if you have blocking for that audition and you've memorized it and you've done it over and over and over again, it becomes a part of you. It becomes that good muscle memory for auditioning. All right. So look at that video from a couple of days ago on what is Epic Auditioning for my prep and integrate strategy. And during your practice sessions, practice integrating. Practice your intro. Practice that navigation for the pianist. What are you going to sing for them? Get with your pianist, your personal pianist, and put in that score all the little details that you might want to have. Maybe your pianist likes to see like a key change highlighted, or maybe you need to write in your ornaments or anything like that. Get that all in there, map that out. Make sure when you're doing your introduction that you have a thank you statement, a gratitude statement. Thank you so much for hearing me today, because I promise you there's a lot of people that wanted to be at that audition, and it's great that you're the one who got in the door. It's amazing that you're the one who got in the door, okay? So thank them for that. Give your introduction slowly, clearly, and exude confidence. Then memorize your repertoire list so that it's very, very clear. If your brain goes when you're nervous, you have that index card to fall back on. You can take it out and you can use it. Then accept positively their second response. Great. Thank you so much. I even once said in an audition, I was hoping you'd pick that today. Yeah, when you love your repertoire, you can accept positively. Then go back and re-navigate for your pianist, okay? Then when you're done, again, thank you so much for having me today. It goes a long way, I promise you. There are so many young singers in this business that would love to be at that audition, so really thank them for inviting you. Then exit the room with confidence, proud of what you did today. Even if you're faking that. Even if you're faking it till you make it. Exit with pride and confidence and happiness and positivity. And then if you need to go eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's, you can go eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's. But don't let us see you need to go eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's in the audition room, okay? So that's sort of a fast overview of my integrate strategy. If you want to learn more about prep and integrate, please head over to Aria Bootcamp on Instagram. It's at Aria Bootcamp. That's my young artist educational training program. And we focus on audition technique. We focus on auditioning. We focus on our repertoire, how prepared it needs to be. That's the prep. And then we focus on the actuality of auditioning, and that's the integrate. So come join us at Aria Bootcamp if you want to learn more, if you want to work with our amazing faculty, learn these strategies, execute these strategies, and have an amazingly epic audition the next time you walk into a room. So I thought this would be helpful for you guys today. Hope you have a fantastic week, a fantastic weekend, and I'll put this up on my page so that you can watch it back later. Bye, everybody.